Bullying and self-harm in children. What can parents do? Hello parents. Today, we're diving into a tough but incredibly important topic: bullying and self-harm in teenagers. This isn't just about statistics and dry research, it's about real stories, real pain, and real families facing these challenges every day. Have you ever wondered, why does my child have unexplained scratches or bruises? Or, why do they always wear long sleeves, even in hot weather? If you've noticed these signs, it might be time to take a closer look and find the best way to help your child. What is self-harm? Many assume that self-harm only means cutting or scratching the skin. However, according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, any behavior where a child deliberately hurts themselves is considered self-harm. This can include pulling out hair or pinching skin, burning themselves, picking at wounds to prevent healing, even anonymously posting self-harm images on social media. Why do children do this? Because they are struggling. Self-harm isn't a mental illness itself, but rather a coping mechanism for overwhelming emotions. However, it is often linked to mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, eating disorders, or borderline personality disorder. Why do children self-harm? Imagine being overwhelmed, isolated, or in deep distress. How would you cope? Some children talk about it, but others turn their pain inward and harm themselves. Common reasons for self-harm include to feel something when they are emotionally numb, to block out painful memories, to release overwhelming emotions they don't know how to express, to punish themselves for perceived failures or mistakes, to regain control when life feels chaotic, to signal that they need help. Doesn't that break your heart? That's why it's crucial for parents to understand what's happening beneath the surface rather than reacting with anger or fear. The link between bullying and self-harm. If there's one factor that significantly increases the risk of self-harm, it's bullying. Research by Fisher et al., 2013, found that children aged 5 to 12 who are frequently bullied are 3 times more likely to self-harm than their peers. And cyberbullying? Even worse. A study by John A., 2018, showed that teenagers who experience online bullying are twice as likely to self-harm or have suicidal thoughts. However, not every bullied child turns to self-harm. Other risk factors include family difficulties, divorce, domestic violence, financial stress, pre-existing mental health conditions like depression or anxiety, a family history of self-harm, lower IQ or learning challenges, experiencing abuse or neglect. So, what can parents do to protect their children? How can parents help? If you suspect or discover that your child is self-harming, the most important thing is not to panic. Instead, you need to stay calm, open-minded, and ready to listen. Signs to look out for: frequent cuts, bruises, burns, or scars, wearing long sleeves even in hot weather, making excuses for injuries, becoming withdrawn and insecure, sudden mood swings, irritability, or sadness, hanging out with friends who also self-harm. When talking to your child, avoid these reactions. Don't judge or scold them. Don't demand that they stop immediately. This can push them to hide it. Don't try to fix everything right away. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Instead, try this approach. Listen to them with empathy and patience. Encourage them to speak with a therapist. Create a safe space for open conversations. Help them find healthier ways to cope: journaling, drawing, exercising. Final thoughts. Parents, discovering that your child is self-harming is heartbreaking. But remember, this is not the end of the road. With love, patience, and support, you can help your child through this challenging time. And if you feel overwhelmed, don't hesitate to seek guidance from a mental health professional. Sometimes, an experienced therapist can provide the tools and insight needed to help your child see the light at the end of the tunnel. Let your child know that you are here. You are listening. And you love them unconditionally.